So DXY, personally, I've stayed away and not really a fan, just because personally I'm not a fan of going against my overall bias. So I'm willing to wait, and see this move because I'm more so focused on the bigger move. You know what I'm saying? So the reason why I'm also, even though right, impulse correction, right, from an intraday, this looks pretty bullish, right? My only issue was definitely liquidity sitting below this low and this low, right? Relative equal lows, right? Even though these were relative equal lows, this took those out, right? These are still pretty, that's still considered a deep retracement to me. So I was just uncertain if we were going to eventually come meet these, right? So also because from a previous discount premium, right, we never really reached any type of discount, right? And we left these relative equal lows. So I'm just not certain. Honestly, I'm still not convinced with this move, right? Like worst case, or best case, I'm sorry, right? We see any type of liquidity grab and then catch that. Honestly, I'm still bearish on this, even though I shouldn't be. But for the most part, I am staying away because from an intraday basis, right, we've already changed our momentum, right, and already created a higher high, right, causing bullish structure to be in play. Not only that, we rejected from the inefficiency here, right, and that's already reacted, right? This happened during New York. All right, so for the most part, this should continue intraday, right? I just want to see how far it's willing to go, right? If we actually come back into this, all right, I'm probably not going to sell, unless I get some type of it's a really good setup, right? I'm really not inclined to sell, even if we have a daily candle here, right? It could happen, right? But just based off of structure rules, all right, low, high, higher high, right, lower low should theoretically create a higher high, right? Because there's still so much room to the upside from an intraday standpoint, right? There's still inefficiency sitting up here. So if anything, we could finally get an overall premium, right? So it's okay to assume bullish structure for the meantime. Just be weary, right? Obviously, elections are next week, right? Worst case, Biden wins and this goes to shit, honestly. So yeah, overall, right, bullish structure is intact. So just be weary, catch those continuations, right? If anything, you have a target up here, right? You're now focused on this range, right? Pretty interesting point to reject from, honestly, right? Because this was technically inefficiency here, right? Or if you even want to push it, I don't think it reached that far, but slightly, right? This is that last wick that took out previous wick there, right? And that can mitigate that perfectly. So there's definitely room to the upside, as I said, from an intraday standpoint, right? Just me personally, I'm not interested in it just because I'm overall not bullish on this, right? So I'm willing to wait, right? I'm still not convinced this is accumulation, right? If anything, I could just see this to be the initiation of a pullback, which is pretty much what's happening, right? Best case, that happens, right? Now, if you reach beyond here, right, now I'm starting to get worried because we're reaching an extreme premium, right, in comparison to this high. So even if you get a pullback from anything there, right, this is more looking to be bullish, right? So for the most part, right, bearish structure is intact because we broke a significant low here with momentum, right? So now I'm focused on our range for continuation, right? Daily Fisher markdown, DXY lines up with weekly. Does it? Does that, you mean with this? That would be lovely. Lovely. Yeah, I see it. And that also fits the whole narrative of a discount. Oops. Yeah, see, that fits the overall narrative of a discount. So, to be honest, I do see this playing out. Right? The only stopping point could be there. Right? But who knows? I'm really waiting to see what happens here. Right? Same with DXY, even though technically, right, bear structure is intact here. Right? I'm more so being patient here. Right? EG though, this is an interesting one. Right? So, for the most part, right, looking at our daily, supply is definitely, you know, showing itself through the version of wicks here, right? Majority of the bodies are going downwards, but my only issue, right, is just how corrective this is looking. It's taking so long to give us that actual, you know, move, right? It hasn't happened yet. I'm waiting to see something like this here, right? Because that will lead to this, right? And from an overall standpoint, that's your initial, I'm gonna write that down here. That's your initial SOW, right? Once we break structure, right? But if we cannot break structure, this, you know, this is looking like it could even turn around, right? Give us one last push before giving us that final downside move, right? Because from technically a minor swing structure right here, right, we're still bullish, right? It's just the only place of interest that even is appealing to me, right, isn't the inefficiency here. It's anywhere here, right? Which means this is where, anywhere here is where I'm looking for a potential hedge, right? Bear structure is still intact, but I don't like how we're pushing up, you know, to these deep retracements consecutively, right? From this low, this high to this low, right? That's a pretty, that's kind of a deep retracement, but this is more so a deep retracement in comparison to this high and this low. But the structure is intact, right? So not only that, I mean, minor intraday here, right? Bear structure is intact, and we reacted from here, right? Which is actually, I believe, is a 5 minute. Yeah. Oh, don't know why that's laggy. Right, so we have our final push, then we have a candle before we make the move, right? So I'm focused on this candle, right? Because this could have been the mitigation of this wick, right? And if we even zoom in closer, I forgot if we actually see something there, right? No, we don't. No, we don't. All right, so in essence, your reference point is the entire candle. All right, just because I don't want to assume just the body, you could, right? Let's test that out. All right, so you see, filled the entire body, but didn't kill the entire candle, right? And from a Wyckoff perspective, right, that last push did make a little bit of sense, right? Right, preliminary supply, buying climax, That's messy. Let's see. This is annoying. All right, preliminaries. What the hell is going on? All right, preliminary supply, right? Could even be misconfused or misconcepted for a buying climax because of this, right? But the only issue with that is that the secondary test should not beat that buying climax, right? So buying climax, right, causes the reaction. This would be an AR. Right, so you could either look at this in both ways, right? You could even see this as a buying climax, automatic rally, right? Secondary test, liquidity grab, right? Another test to the secondary test, right? And then upthrust, UTAD. That's how you could look at it. Yeah. That was from earlier, yeah. Could be, yeah, could be. And you're also, keep in mind, you're also revisiting not just this here, you're revisiting that, right? And this is a whole lot more significant to me than that. But still causes for a very narrow potential POI. But anyways, back to EG. Right, so looking at both scenarios, right, of which type of schematic this could be, right, as we said before, this could be your buying climax just based off the volume. Secondary test, liquidity grab, low volume causes reaction to downside, right? This is your AR, right? So this liquidity grab tests your AR, right? This is your secondary test of that secondary test, right? And that causes no SOW, structure is intact, leading to this upthrust, right? Followed by an overall UTAD, right? With very continuation-like retracements, right? Not too deep, leading to SOW, right? And then continuation. Right, so a little sloppy, but rules stay intact. Right, there is a way though. Like for example, let's say you're waiting for this. There is a way to catch that. I didn't catch it, unfortunately. Right, especially because I didn't really want to trade on a Friday. Right, if we're looking at scalp structure here, right, we're seeing, right, our schematic play out, right, UTAD. You can go to M1 for this. Right, so this is our spring, this is our test of the spring, right, causing that, reaction to downside, right, structure point here, high, that's not tested, right, relative equal lows. This is the only retracement. Unfortunately, I wanted something here, right? I didn't get that, right? We actually only got here, which is fine, right? Because this push now led to breaking structure here, right? Meaning this is now your range of interest. You have a very nice SC here, right? Including the SC and the potential inefficiency fill here, right? Even though it's a pretty, 3 pip stop, not too bad of a stop. That then leads to the continuation move here. All right, with the target being intraday low here. So that would have been a good potential scenario there, right? Fortunately, it hasn't hit yet, right? But if we're looking at managing this, right, this is now your high, so your low. We're still technically potentially reaching to a deeper premium, right? There could even be potential inefficiency here, right? Could reach back up there for a continuation lower. So there's, there's still, it still makes sense for this to go, lower. I just don't like how from a daily perspective it's taking so long. All right, but don't get me wrong. I've seen this before to where it has taken a long time for this to drop, and then it dropped. Right, you'll find that scenario. I don't know if I've shown you guys that before. This is a while back. Not too long. It was this year. It was here, I believe. It was right here. Perfect. Right. This is why I'm still, pretty much, in the idea that this can happen. Right? Because, right, we did break a higher high here. Right? And I'm thinking of structural range here. I'm thinking of continuation because of this potential bull flag, and then it melts. Right? So that's what I'm waiting for. All right, this is something that I want to see. Right? Because technically, from an overall standpoint, right, this was bullish. Right? This could have easily been a liquidity grab there, right? Especially because of the reaction. And then we broke the previous high, right? High, low, that broke. And then we could have assumed continuation here, but actually that led to that break of structure. That's your high, that's your low. This is your premium, and there you go. So I'm waiting for EG to show its hand here, right? I'm waiting for that to show its hand, because once it shows its hand, right, because here, right, that's a push that took us a higher high, right? And now this is the continuation flag, right? I really want to see it play its hand. I want to see it break structure, because once it breaks structure, right, let's say if it does it from here, this is not your high, it's not your low. I'm now looking for any type of premium, and that is your safe high probability trade, right? Because now you have the narrative of the monthly, you have the structure of the daily, right? So all you got to do is follow from an intraday. So that's pretty much what I'm waiting for, right? If that doesn't happen, right, like I said, we have we can call it a point of turbulence, I guess. I don't know. A point of reference. I really want to see how we react from here, unless we break this high. If we break this high, rip, straight rip, right? Because that would have now shown to us that our bearish structure is now not intact. Yeah, I wouldn't take the sell there. We'll wait for a BOS react. Yeah, exactly. So the safest play in that scenario would be to wait till it breaks the low. From an overall standpoint, yeah. From an intraday, no. From an intraday, this has already shown its opportunities. This is showing opportunity. My bad. Right, like the one that I showed, when did I show this one? Was it last Zoom, 14th of October? What's today's date? The 17th. Right, so I think this is what I showed on Wednesday Zoom. Right, this has already shown its hand here. Right, we had our low that created our final high here. Right, this intraday high led to that break, retracement, target. Right, it's different from an intraday if and then compared to a swing. It just depends on the duration of your trade. Right, like from an intraday, that is a phenomenal trade. Right, you can easily TP at a low. That's a good 30-1, I believe, from what I remember. Right, but you guys know that I like to hold my trades. I'm not as trigger happy as I used to be. But yeah, other than that, I mean, just being patient. We're definitely in a time where we're showing corrective structure from a daily perspective. So even though we have really good intraday moves, it's not really about, or it's not really showing us that move like this. Yeah, so I'm just sitting on my hands, to be honest. I really want to see what happens. Because in my opinion here, too, from an intraday, right, trying to get ahead, this has to break. If that does not break, let's say we have an SC here, right, let's say this is the rejection point that leads to taking out this high, then the entire bias is fucked, straight up. So yeah, other than that, do you guys have any questions? I don't have anything else on top of that. Yeah, other than that, should we just end it off here, guys? How's your stock doing? I don't know. I haven't been looking at that. Honestly, I've been wanting to buy more. Yeah, we're finally reaching that premium there. Yeah, this isn't something I'm too heavy in. All right, I'm really looking for a premium. Premium, then the bullish volume, and then this is set. But until that happens, right, it's not really something I'm too worried about, right? Yeah, targeting here. I'm still convinced it's a schematic, but since it's taking so long, I'm not too worried about waiting a year. Oh yeah, if it plays out, man, yeah. TB. Yeah. I'm not too worried about it though. Throwing like 50 bucks here and there. Nothing insane. Right, because this from a monthly perspective, this is pretty bearish. So yeah, I'm not too worried about this. But yeah, other than that, I think we can end it off here. You guys should get a pretty good announcement, hopefully midweek. I'm not gonna say too much about it, but yeah, just expect that. And other than that, see you guys Wednesday. No hints. But yeah, other than that, I'll see you guys later.